I get emotional about it just because I don't know, like, I don't feel like I've ever done anything in my life to feel worthy to have the successes we've had. I'd never want to take anything for granted.
Okay, you guys, last video's comment section. It's an avalanche, if you will, of kindness towards my brother, Mr. Casey.
I was worried about going against that grain of the 9 to 5 that I'd always thought that's what I was going to do.
He's never vlogged before. Videos, love, outgoing guys.
The last thing I remember before I decided, like, okay, this is it, was I said, if you have a purpose, then you'll always be successful. My name is Casey Butler, and I am a co-owner of Hushin. And we are a company that creates content that hopefully inspires other people to get out in the woods. You follow a passion, and it somehow sticks. Honestly, like, I've told this story a lot. Anything that you decide you want to do in life, you can really do it.
A lot of times, all you see is like what's in front of you, and you don't really understand what it took to get there. The first time I met Casey was in an elk hunt, and I was trying to understand, how does somebody make a living doing YouTube?
Yeah, so we lived a pretty normal life, and I worked at the local steel mill there in northern Utah. My older brother started doing this thing called YouTube, and I didn't understand any of it. All I knew is he made these really weird videos of him and his family.
I think YouTube was a place where people just uploaded, you know, kind of crazy cat videos.
You know, my brother, him and his family had relocated to LA, and I would go and watch these videos and wonder why anybody wanted to watch these things. He convinced me and my wife to come to LA, and she's like, what do you think? I go, if I quit this job, I'll probably never be able to get this job back.
Everyone thought we were insane. People didn't really know what we were even doing.
I told my wife, I said, I want to figure out a way to start a hunting channel.
There was no hunting YouTube channels, none. It didn't exist.
Well, so the story between Brian and Casey actually go back before Casey and myself. Those two had met on an out-of-state hunt in New Mexico. To put it in a nutshell, Brian is very analytical.
Like, he was a sales rep for all these big companies. He did really well.
He was always in the top percentage of his job.
Try to hop on it real quick. I was gonna see if Matt can maybe jump on too.
I got fired after 9 years being at a company that I expected to be at for quite some time, and that was a difficult obstacle to overcome.
You know, I've seen Brian through the years, you know, happier in a job, and then I've seen him not happy. And, you know, he is a natural leader, but I don't know that leadership is always what he wants to do.
What led me to the outdoors is a mentor, an old vice president that I used to work for, asked, what would you do if money wasn't important? I said, I want to do something in the hunting or outdoor world. He said, well, that's what you need to figure out, how to make that happen. Not too far after that is when I met Casey.
I literally didn't even have a name for my hunting channel. And I was like, okay, I have all this content, what am I gonna do with it?
He needed my help with my experience in sales and marketing, and he had like the content and the concept of this new thing that I thought could be amazing.
So it started out with Hushin with Livin, which is an absolutely silly name now I think about it. The name comes from hunting, fishing, combined, Hushin.
We founded the company on 3 primary principles. The first one was to inspire new hunters and anglers to get out in the field, to raise awareness about conservation issues, about hunting access issues.
And the third pillar is just to give back. If it's helping out a children's hospital or a local boys' home, whatever it is, those are our 3 pillars, and that's what we say is our why.
I just knew right then and there that this was it.
In my head, it was already drafting plans on how to make it a business. From 2012 and 2013, just trying to help Casey out because I loved doing that.
I just knew that this is what he wanted to do. He gets to travel around, he gets to try new things.
What I didn't have is a lot of time to pour into Hushin. I had to keep doing the vlogs in order to continue doing the hunting thing. And that's where Brian and Eric come into play. And I met both those guys in very different ways.
Eric had the drive, the determination, and the desire.
My whole life has always revolved around fitness and the outdoors, so huge into hunting and mostly shed hunting actually. The first and only reason I ever chose to hold a deer tag myself was to hunt for the meat. I started to realize that you need to have, you know, a healthy, high-protein diet.
Initial passion in us was the ability, the access to get out and experience these things off the land that was available for us to enjoy.
If you're a hunter to a mountain biker, like, get out and enjoy it. That's living the land, is to get out and enjoy what we have.
I want to teach people about this lifestyle that we have and getting outdoors and shooting bows and, you know, hiking and really living a happier and healthier lifestyle. We all seem to be on that same page and have that progressive mindset where we're gonna go outside of the box and do our channel a little different than most typical hunting things were at the time. So
Yeah, there's no doubt. I think we were one of the first, if not the first, truly dedicated YouTube channels that focused on hunting.
The interesting thing about YouTube is you just never know. At the beginning, it was not well received.
Dude.
A lot of people would be like, hey, Casey, why don't you go to the store and get your meat like everybody else does? We just had one of the most amazing experiences.
There was a big audience who just didn't understand hunting, and they looked at it in such a negative way.
From what I understood is a lot of people just thought hunting was you drive through the woods and kill all the animals you see and then you go home. I realized that there was just a big disconnect. At the end of the day, you're hoping to kill an animal to take that meat home to your family. And so I started doing recipe videos.
He was showing cooking videos and what he was doing, the whole process of it all, and people were watching, and then they were starting to understand, and it was these two worlds coming together and understanding each other.
Me showing them, hey, this is why I do this. For a lot of people, it started clicking. They're like, oh, I didn't know that.
when I think about living off the land, it's consuming the animals we eat, fishing and hunting for food.
We had our why, right? Like, if our objective is to try to inspire new people to get out and hunt and fish, and then to just give back and be good stewards in our community, we can't fail at that.
We always say it, and it's funny, but we grew this thing probably the hardest way possible. We never had any outside help. It was just what we knew and what we learned. I always wanted it to maintain that real organic grassroots feel, if you will.
You know, I think once we had that first opportunity to break into the industry and kind of get a couple companies to believe in us finally, I felt really good about where we were going.
So Eric wasn't a part of Hush at the time. He was still trying to figure out what he wanted to do. You know, Brian had still continually helped me get sponsors.
So we started doing these movie premieres.
Dude, I'm going to see a movie that my brother made.
To get a bunch of folks in a room together to kind of watch a hunting show on a big movie screen.
I was like, man, 220, that's a lot of tickets. Hopefully we can sell half. Well, within the first few days, the first show sold out.
It's like our philanthropy foundation. So we hold a raffle. A lot of our great partners donate stuff to that raffle, and we use that money raised towards one of our founding pillars of giving back. We've raised over $100,000.
Thanks, guys.
Right before we did the movie premiere, me and Eric and Brian went and had dinner. And Brian goes, okay, let's talk about this. Listen, he goes, Eric, Casey has what you need, and Eric has what you need.
What Hush needed was somebody that could really jump in and drive the consistent content creation, and that is what Eric was able to provide.
And so Eric started crushing, started creating content, and immediately people loved him. And it was just natural, man. Eric did a phenomenal job of just creating content.
So, I mean, obviously I started helping Casey in 2012, 2013, and I quit my corporate job in September of 2018.
YouTube as a company is forever changing. The algorithm is forever changing. Us as a company need to be super progressive and try to figure out things that might do well before they start doing well.
Yeah, so over the years, we started doing our own branded merchandise and own website, and over the years it's just continued to grow and expand. Now we have 5 total people working on the brand, 2 employees, 3 owners.
The whole goal is still the same, man, to inspire and motivate people to get out there and enjoy the public lands, to enjoy the outdoors.
I get emotional about it just because I don't feel like I've ever done anything in my life to feel worthy to have the successes we've had.
It's never just about him, it's about this team and this amazing community that he has built. And I just really love that people are able to see that.
I'd never want to take anything for granted. And there's been a lot of things and a lot of people that have helped us get to where we're at right now.
And if we can inspire a new generation of people to, love the outdoors and the hunting and fishing community as much as we have, then that kind of speaks for itself.